and welcome back to Lifespan Discipleship. This is Unit 5, Session 1. And today I want to talk a little bit about young adults. We're talking here in this unit about discipleship to young adults. So we've moved through the lifespan from preschool, childhood, adolescence to young adulthood. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the traditional markers of adulthood. What are some ways in which we can identify, or we would say that someone has reached adulthood? Well, there's three traditional markers, and the first one is that a person accepts responsibility for themselves. Okay, they accept responsibility for their actions and for their life and the choices that they're making. So responsibility, accepting responsibility, is that first marker. The second is that we make independent decisions, right? So now we've moved out of adolescence where maybe we've been relying heavily on mom or dad to help us make decisions, or a grandparent, a guardian, someone that helps us make those decisions. But now we would say another marker or indicator of adulthood is that we're making those decisions independent of anyone else. And then third, finally, is financial independence. So we're less or less dependent, or we're not dependent at all financially on mom or dad helping provide us with rent money for an apartment, or helping with school, or providing a car or insurance. A big one today is cell phone. Are you still on your parents' cell phone plan, right? So again, traditionally, we would say financial independence would be a marker of adulthood. However, as we look at those three, we can see that today things are really changing. And this list of traditional markers of independence for young adulthood really can be thrown out. I want to then talk about a new term that's being used for young adults, and that's the term emerging adulthood. So rather than saying that specifically there is an age, 18, 21, something like that, that a young person reaches adulthood and we would characterize them as adults, there's this new term being used called emerging adulthood, and it has a broad age range from 18 to age 30. So a person who's between the age of 18 and 30 might be characterized as emerging adulthood. And I want to talk about a few of the characteristics of this age group, emerging adulthood. It can primarily be categorized by and described by the term transitions, that a person who is an emerging adult is experiencing a series of transitions where years ago, decades ago, a person might experience one transition into adulthood, and we would say, well, that person is now an adult. Now we're seeing that it's a broader range span. That's why that term is called emerging adulthood, that this age group is defined by transition. And here are a few examples. So maybe traditionally we would say that a student is finishing high school and they would enter into college. Well, today we would say that, yes, maybe they're a college student, but maybe they're not a college student. Maybe they're working and they're maybe in some type of trade, and they're just working without college. Maybe they are a college dropout. Maybe they're a college graduate. Students or adults in this category of emerging adulthood are working, but some are not. Some are unemployed. Some are single, but they're also married. Again, many in this age group, we would say, okay, well, this is the time when folks are maybe coupling up, pairing up with someone, and that may or may not be true. Maybe they were married, but now they're divorced. Maybe they have children, and maybe they have no children. Again, maybe there's financial independence, but perhaps not. Perhaps they were financially independent at some time, but now they are newly or again financially dependent on mom or dad. They had moved away, moved out of the house, were working, but some emerging adults have returned and come back home, maybe after college or after working and being financially dependent. what we see in this age group is that there are lots and lots of different transitions, and it's difficult to categorize and to put labels on individuals within this age range of emerging adulthood. So for ministry and from discipleship standpoint, we have to rethink how we're going to minister to young adults and to emerging adults. So this is no longer just us having to lump everyone in this category into one Bible study or Sunday school class, where traditionally we would have, after high school age, a young adult or a college and career class. That's kind of an old term. We have to think outside of that to a new paradigm and a new way of thinking that says perhaps we need to offer multiple opportunities for folks in this age range to connect. So because we're going to have singles and we're going to have married people, we're going to have folks that are younger and some that are older in this age range, maybe I need to begin to think about how I'm offering Bible study options, small group options for a variety of folks in this age range of emerging adulthood. So something to think about. Hey, this week we want to do the reading on narrative discipleship, a fascinating discussion on how we might specifically meet the needs of young adults in this age range of emerging adulthood, talking about narrative discipleship, and then Quiz 7. Make sure you take Quiz 7. All right, that's all I've got for you this week. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.